Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Community Focus here on Channel 6 TV. I'm Kenny Fogle, your host, and we're counting down to Tuesday, November the 6th, and that's the day. That is your day. If any other day is around, that's the one that you get to go out and have your voice in government. You might not get a vote any other time. You might not be able to show up at the courthouse or at the state legislature or wherever else, but you can vote, and that's the ones when you vote are the ones that's going to be representing you throughout the rest of the next few years in Frankfort or wherever else they may be that you're voting for. Well, today we're talking about Frankfort, talking about state senator, and that's a very important position. And that we got here with us Ms. Stephanie Compton, and Stephanie is running for state senator in this area. And first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, before we get going, who is Stephanie Compton?
Let's see. Well, Stephanie Compton is a local gal from LaRue County, and I currently live in Spencer County. I decided to get into politics to try to get some changes going around here for the people, even if it is going to Frankfort, and just get the whole state taken care of. I'm a stay-at-home mom right now, and I have been there for 7 years. My kids are all in school now, and so now I'm looking for a new job. I used to, it's a big change.
Well, this is a job interview.
It is kind of a job interview. And, growing up, we always used to say, it's like those politicians, they need to go do their job, So you kind of forget that it is a service, but it is a service. But, I am looking for, a different path, I guess.
Well, being a stay-at-home mom, it gives you an opportunity to be aware. A lot of times when people say, I don't have time for politics, or I don't have time for what's going on in Frankfort, but you've got the opportunity now to be aware of what's going on in Frankfort.
Absolutely. It's been a big difference the last couple of years, because I knew, before I wasn't that interested in politics, we kind of just paid attention to election time, But I can totally see how people can't keep up with it, because if you're going to work from in your 6 to 6, it'll say, by the time you get home, you just want to chill out, watch Netflix, eat dinner, and go to bed, do it again. What's going on during the day, you miss out a lot, and then the narrative in the media can change from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. by the time you get home. So you definitely have to pay attention to everything. And being unemployed, I guess you could say right now, I have had the opportunity to watch a lot of the shenanigans going on.
So what is going on in Frankfort that got you fired up a little bit?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I started watching, the EpiPen is what got me irritated a couple of years ago, watching everything and the price double on it. And so I started seeing how the senators in D.C. were involved with that, with the guy from West Virginia, Manchin, I think is his name. And so then you just start to see how bought they all are in the pharmaceutical companies and the Kochs brothers and all that. And it really starts to irritate you and eat at you once you see that it even trickles down into Frankfort. That's when I started getting involved more into watching Frankfort. And in the last 2 years, we saw so many of our fellow Kentuckians showing up there to fight for their pensions, to fight, and the unions showed up and got kicked out of their own building when they were fighting the right to work to come in. So we had so much going up in Washington, D.C. at the same time as Frankfort, and you just can tell that something's wrong. And it's just getting further and further away from it working for people like us.
Well, as you said, the pensions are a big deal. The right to work's a big deal. Now, Medicaid is something that people are not paying a lot of attention to. But a few years ago, Connect, the program in Kentucky, was one of the models for Kentucky. But now I'm not even sure. I know it's called Benefine now, but I'm not even sure how it works.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. The governor's still trying to cut it at any possible chance he can get. Even if he gets mad, he just comes out and cuts everybody's dental and vision, and that really hurt a lot of people in our area, including Casey County had the most cut, I just know they're trying to put some more working restrictions on it and everything, but I do know that most of the people that receive this Medicaid already have jobs. They're just underemployed and under benefited, I guess you could say. And that's part of the problem we have, is that there's so many businesses out there that no longer provide such insurance or benefits, and people are getting sick, and then they get Medicaid, and then our governor and the government comes in and just tries to take it all away. So the poor class, and we're not even really talking about poor, are just getting further left behind. And we're at a point now, I think, and that's one of the reasons I ran, because when I was the working class and working at UPS, the benefits kept getting less and less every year. And so in the 7 years I've been out, it's just even more apparent that our benefits have been taken away. What happened to the $20 copay days? Now our deductibles are $5,000. Some people have $15,000. It's insane. Not to mention what we're paying for the premiums. So, all this money is coming out of our checks, and the corporations are just getting richer and richer. And I mean, we're about ready to pop.
Yeah. So do you feel like you've been represented in Frankfort? I mean,
no way. Before now, I wouldn't have thought much about it. We just accepted it in a lot of ways. But now that I'm looking into the specifics of it, no way. Because if I go from magistrate all the way up to Frankfort, all my representation, there's no females, there's no women, and they're all Republican, which before now, Democrat and Republican really wasn't that big of a difference, but now we're starting to see a huge difference between the ideologies between the two parties, So no, I do not think I am being represented at all.
Well, you've talked to a lot of people. Is other people sort of telling you this, or what are you hearing out there?
Yeah. A lot of people have problems with their insurance and deductibles, and they're not really, and they know it's a problem at work, but I mean, it is a huge problem that's nationwide and statewide.
Yeah.
But whether or not they realize that Frankfort or someone like me could help them, that's one thing. But we do have to get the noise rose, because it is a trend. The more that the corporations can prosper from week to week, and that's all they want to do is, monthly.
Yeah.
It's all for the stocks. If they don't look as if they're making more and more week to week, month to month, then the stocks will go down. You always have to look as if you're getting bigger and better, right? It's never good enough. It's never good enough. So what will happen is that they'll cut you out early, or they'll bring in temps and flush them out every 30, 60 days so they don't have to give them insurance, And so more businesses have just caught onto this trend. So I just truly have concerns for our younger kids growing up, the future generations. I mean, look at Four Roses, what they did. They were up for a contract negotiation, and here they came. They came out with this new contract that's going to give new hires less than what they do. It's the same thing with the schools. The pensions, they were going to give new hires less than what the other ones are. Walgreens, doing the same thing. Amazon came out with this, $15. But what did they do? They also took away stock options and everything. So they look good in the press, depending on who has the story, but really at the budget dollar, they're not going to lose any penny, because that's their business, And unfortunately, we've been here before when the labor unions got big, and had to fight for these rights. And then over the decades, we've taken it for granted. We thought that those fights were fought and done. And here they are, the businessman became the legislators, and they got in there and changed the laws to get the laws to favor them instead of the people.
So what counties exactly are you representing?
Let's see. Well, there's a portion of Jefferson County, which is a little bit of the Fern Creek and J-Town area, and then it goes down into Spencer, Nelson, Marion, and Casey County.
Okay. So basically it's mostly rural, I guess, to a large degree, but you got a little bit of urban mixed in there.
Yeah. And then it depends also how you define rural and urban.
It's not really as much farm versus factory like it years ago.
It's still Kentucky. It's just Kentucky. Once you get out of the city, it's just pure Kentucky.
Yeah. Well, you got a lot of, like I said, we mentioned several issues there. We got the opioid issue, something like that. I mean, that's what's happening.
Oh my goodness. There's a lot of people that are hurt by it, and it's been going on for 10, 12 years that it's been creeping into our society and our communities. And it really just goes back to the pharmaceutical companies who just flushed it into our state to profit off of us. And, I'm hearing that some crisis centers are coming in now to save the day, but yet they're for-profit crisis centers. So we have to watch that too. And, and that's just a way in order to get more contracts or money to go to them. So we definitely have to be careful.
We talk about for-profit. There's still the talk of charter schools.
That's the huge reason of why I'm running is following that Koch agenda from DC to Kentucky. And it's all, charter schools is all corporation in the Koch brothers push. They want to ensure that we are taught what they want us to be taught, and then of course for profit, because they want to get rid of anything that's public.
Yeah.
And they want to privatize everything. And as we've seen in other states, the charter school movement has not helped them at all. I mean, we have teachers in Frankfort protesting. The other states, the teachers are out in the streets, you know, in protesting because they've already had the charters there and it's failing them. They're losing their jobs. It doesn't pay. The kids are getting hurt. And we're at a very great opportunity right here in Kentucky this year because we have allowed charter schools to come here, but we haven't funded them yet. So if 2019, I'm quite certain that that's going to be the legislation to come out if Republicans remain in control, because it is a partisan issue. If you look at the voting records, it is extremely partisan between traditional public schools or charter public schools, and you have to be careful of how you define that. And I just cannot. I want it to be a choice come November, because my opponent, Jimmy Higdon, has voted for pro-charter schools since at least 2013 to bring them into Kentucky. So I have no doubt in my mind that his task will be to, you know, fund them with our public tax dollars come next year.
So for the average person out there that's watching and saying, I don't get involved in politics, I don't pay attention, you think they're really missing out on a lot?
Yes, I do, especially right now, and you know this too. I mean, it's just something that we've never seen. I haven't seen in my lifetime the division that's going on, and with charter schools and stuff, you have to realize that that's going to affect every county. Some seem to think that it's just a Louisville issue, and it's not. Now, they'll use Louisville as an example because everybody's like, oh yeah, the schools are, you know.
Well, I guess that's my question, sir. If people are not paying attention now, 10 years from now, what's it going to look like if you say, you know, I've never heard of the charter schools, didn't pay a lot of attention to charter schools or what they're doing to Medicaid or anything like that, and then it's
going to be too late. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the poor will be poor because if you look around from the last 10 years, I can certainly see a decline the further out from the cities you get. The roads are crumbling, the bridges are crumbling. Now, the closer to the city, they seem to take care of things a little bit better, you know, because it's closer to the bigger media, I guess. I haven't figured it out yet, but certainly 10 more years at this decline, you know, some schools could close if we got charter schools, and then it's going to be too late because we've already lost that money, and then where are we going to get money in the future? So no, I think we're at a fork in the road, you know, in charter versus public school, and that public tax dollars is a big factor right now.
Well, again, like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in Frankfort. Is there anything in particular you see coming on the horizon that we should be watching out for, or what's coming up next?
Let's see.
Definitely
the charter school movement.
Yeah. Well, the pension, is that a done deal? I mean, is it done, over with?
No, I don't think so. Well, if the Republicans win the House and the Senate again, then they are going to do that sewer pension bill all over again, especially if the Supreme Court doesn't accept it. But from what I've understand, you know, I've been following, I think it's the Kentucky Economic Policy, but you know, it was funded in 2013, but as long as we can find sustainable, safe funding for it, everything's going to be fine. So there's really not a crisis so much going on, but they definitely want us to think there is, you know.
Well, you get into that revenue. I mean, we've talked about gaming, we've talked about legalizing hemp, marijuana for even medical or recreational reasons.
Yeah, and I'm for recreational marijuana because I went to this forum where they had this whole plan. They've gone to Colorado and they've gotten all the great ideas from all these other states that it's successful at, and the revenue that it could bring to our state, and plus the crops that we could grow, the distribution, the security for it, it's all laid out. I mean, it could totally happen here if we didn't have such resistance to it. And it would be similar to alcohol, and it would be approved county to county. Yeah. Now, with the gaming, there's sports betting that's coming open, which, you know, I'm for. You know, I'm okay with it if that's what the people want. You know, there's nothing there that's money coming in that I don't think I would deny unless it stops somebody else's civil rights. You know, that, of course. But, you know, I'm okay with medical marijuana. I'm okay with recreational marijuana because of the income, and casinos and gambling. I'm okay with it. The problem is that a lot of the surrounding states have already gotten on to the casino, so we've lost some opportunity there, and so people are traveling out. or they're more successful, or people don't even have disposable income. That's a problem too. So we would, and there's plenty of groups out there that study that and could give us an idea of issues. But I think there's plenty of opportunity there again, but we have to get fresh people in Frankfort. I call it refresh Frankfort. Refresh Frankfort. It's a wonderful opportunity we got going on. Whether it's me or the other teachers that stood up to go against this pension charter school movement, everyone that voted for charter schools, basically has somebody to oppose them this year. And so it would be such a wonderful opportunity if all these people could just all come together and sit at a table in Frankfort and bring in their insight. Can you imagine what they see every day in their classes? They're seeing firsthand what's happening in the homes across our state. Yeah. So in Frankfort, we'll be able to bring in, family opportunity from Eastern Kentucky and Western Kentucky and see what things are working and what things are not. Because I think we weren't always able to see what was going on in the far sides of the state, The media's kind of kept separate, so we didn't understand. Like, look at Martin County, Kentucky with their water issue. We don't see that all the time here in Central in the Courier-Journal. So, and that probably goes up to Mitch McConnell because, he likes to control the media and stuff. So, and he's had his claws in it for quite some time. So, we can't deny that it's probably manipulated to show us what we want to see.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, our infrastructure, we got a lot of bridges crumbling. We got a lot of roads that are in pretty bad shape right now. And as far as I see, the transportation fund is just about broke.
Yeah. Well, I know that they did that, repealed the prevailing wage, and I know that that's hurting a lot of the people. But, I would love the opportunity to get up there and take a hard look at it because I think it's corrupted. I really do. I think other people have got their fingers in it and the money's going somewhere else, and if we could just get the special interest out, and again, if we just voted for all different people, good people, then, we could truly save Kentucky.
What's your accessibility? If somebody wants to get a hold of you now or after you get elected?
Well, now I'm pretty much available all the time. I'm trying to focus on the kids and not mess up our schedule too much with them, and then after, if I was actually elected, I would totally serve this district to the full extent. Even if it was just 4 years in and out, because I would do hardcore, repealing the prevailing wage or, the right to work or something, we have to do massive change right now because they're comparing us to like Louisiana, the bottom. We're like 47th, 46th in a lot of things anyway, but now we're being like, well, we're better than Louisiana, and they did that at the court for the senior pension bill, and it's like, and the judge actually laughed back at him. He's like, I don't think we need to be comparing ourselves there, and I hate to say that about Louisiana or whatever, but, we got to strive, because honoring elite or rich or something is not getting us anywhere. And I didn't even realize that we're not poor, but it's getting harder and harder to get by check to check with the prescriptions going up and food's going up, gas.
Well, you're up against a tough incumbent. Has there been any debates or any talk of debates?
Well, we got our first debate head to head the 22nd here in Bardstown at the Civic Center, so that will be an open debate. We did have a forum in Spencer County. And let's see, that's about it so far. But there might be another opportunity in Lebanon County. But we are having one here in Bardstown on the 22nd.
So, well, good. So, like I said.
Yeah, and we're friendly. It's fine. He knows I'm just going, he's my senator too. So, I didn't like his votes. And it's truly a job opening came open and I'm applying for it. That's the way I look at it.
That's the way you have to look at it.
That's the way I'm looking at it. I saw what was coming up on it, whether it was a magistrate or whatever. I could do more good in Frankfort for the state of Kentucky. I have concerns for about every county. It's for state, not just my road or something, and like I said, nobody else, he hadn't even been opposed since he's been a senator. Yeah, and I understand a lot of people were questioning, like, well, why are you going against Jimmy Higdon? Everybody likes it and everything, but then his vote started changing. And now people are more upset about it. Whether or not they'll be more comfortable to give me a chance or not, that's up to them, come, November. There is a lot of loyalty out there because of him being in the district for so long and his business connections and everything, and that's fine. But, as a Democrat-Republican thing, you know, I just wanted to, and especially with the change going on nationwide in our politics, it definitely is a political realignment going on. That, you know, come November, I wanted to make sure that you had a choice, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, I know you're out there beating the bushes and walking the streets and doing whatever it takes right now to get your name out there and talk issues. I mean, that's the part to get, it's hard. A lot of people don't want to talk the issues. It's more of a personality thing, or you're my buddy or something like that. But issues are important.
Oh yeah, and there's a lot of issues that I'm not afraid to talk about, but I have to sidestep now because I don't know who's involved with who. But as a senator, I would definitely have more access to you know, some information. It could ask some harder questions, so that would be fun.
All right, well, so appreciate you stopping in here today. And I know you've been Hound Days, and you're over here at the Bourbon Festival. You've been all around, so we're seeing more and more of you. So hopefully we'll see more and more of you as time goes on. Election day coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so.
So is there any final words to voters you'd like to say? For I didn't ask the right question.
Oh, you know, you did great. Thank you.
Well, I just want to make sure we got it all covered. Do we want
well, I just want to say that my name is Stephanie Compton, and I am running to be your senator. I truly wish to serve our communities, and I want to go after our working families again. I think we've been forgotten, you know. And I understand that business is important, but you know, we also are in a decline of our working families and the benefits we receive, whether it be at home or from your employer. And I can bring that to the table and understand the struggles. And then I would be available to everyone. Please just contact me. Anything that you've been denied in the past, you know, let's bring it back out because we're in a new world.
All right, well, Stephanie, appreciate you being here today. Thank you, and thank you for tuning in. And again, I have to stress over and over, November 6th, that's your day. Stephanie's on the ballot, and she's doing her part. She's on the ballot. We're doing our part is getting the information and education out to you. November 6th is the day you do your part. So show up on November 6th at the ballot box, make your selection, and hopefully your vote will make a difference. Stick around, a lot more to come here on Channel 6 TV. We'll be back right after this.
Thank you.